Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Monday. I hope you had a really good weekend. I'm coming at you today with one of my favorite videos to do right before we hit the summer big time. We are at the end of May, and while most of us know that we should be wearing SPF year-round, I know that some of us don't really start to take that quite as seriously until the spring and summer. Some of us wait until the summer to put on our SPF. You should be putting it on year round if you're not. But I am collabing today with my friend Miss Melissa M. So my friend Melissa, she has the complete polar opposite skin type of me in terms of her not being an oily mess all the time. She has a much drier skin type, and I know every time that I do videos around sunscreen, I'm very upfront in telling you that these are just suggestions that I have that seem to work extremely well on my very oily skin type. But a lot of you tell me that my preference for zinc oxide doesn't really work for a drier skin type. And knowing that Melissa has the complete opposite skin type, I asked her to collab with me on this video so that you had some suggestions for dry skin as well. So I will of course be putting the link for Melissa's video for her suggestions, as well as the link to her channel in the description box down below. If you're not already subscribed to Melissa, I would definitely encourage you to do so. She's fantastic. She is in her early 50s, and she really has a strong preference for affordable skincare and makeup and hair care products. So if you are someone who is a little bit more budget minded than admittedly I am, Melissa may be a great channel for you to make a connection with, because she does post a lot of really great tutorials and reviews and roundup type videos, and I think you guys would really love her if you don't love her already. And I just want to say a big thanks to Melissa for agreeing to do this video with me so that we could give you guys a little more of a well-rounded summer SPF suggestion style video. So we are calling this our top 5 SPF suggestions for the summer. However, I do have a couple of bonus items for you at the end, one of which is kind of a nice little extra thing to have on hand for a specific area of the face in terms of protection there. And then I also have some easy touch-up suggestions, because I'm sure, as you guys are aware, as important as it is to apply your sunscreen first thing at the beginning of the day, it's also important to reapply your sunscreen, especially if you are sweating or if you're in and out of the water. That's really important. But a lot of us don't necessarily sweat a whole bunch. You still should reapply your sunscreen, and some of the easiest ways to do that are with sunscreen sprays. So I've got you covered there with my personal favorites. So we are going to go ahead and just dive into it here, and I'm going to get started. My first suggestion, and by the way, I will put links for everything that I suggest in the description box down below, so if you want to know where to find these things, I always put links down there for you guys. And by the way, if you're here from Melissa's channel, I hope that you will take the time to stick around and subscribe. I'd love to have you here. So, all right, I'm going to get started with my holy grail. You guys know what's coming. This is never not going to be in a sunscreen suggestions video, because it is just a huge part of my skincare routine and has been for many years now. This is the Paula's Choice Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense SPF 30. This has antioxidants as well as resveratrol in it. And one of the things that you should know about me is that I really have oily skin. I know that I've kind of already mentioned that, but I just want to stress, I have oily skin. It's not just oily in my T-zone, it really is oily all over the place. The only place that I am dry on my face right now is the corners of my mouth right here. I recently had my lip filler touched up just a little bit, and the disinfectant wipe that she used to disinfect the area around my mouth unfortunately irritated that skin, so I've got this weird dry patch right there. But for the most part, this is all oily, and it's never really not oily. So for me, zinc oxide really is the best SPF that I have found. I think that particular ingredient just, it seems to help to control the oil production a little bit. It doesn't allow the oil to break through and break down the SPF as quickly. And it just has protected my skin beautifully over the years. So this one right here is fantastic. This is tinted. I'm gonna show you guys here with the one that I have open. I actually, there we go. Got a little more than I wanted there. So you guys can see that tint. I have one that I'm just finishing up here that is gonna go in my empties video at the end of the month. But you can see it just has a little bit of a tint. It basically, the tint helps with making sure that you just don't have any like white flashback. I've never had an issue with this one in terms of it not looking good in photography. So if that's something that's important to you, this one is great for that. This one also just seems to go the longest like into the day without starting to break down. For whatever reason, this particular formula just gets me the very best results, which is why it still remains, after all of these other ones that I've tested, as my top SPF. So I cannot say enough good things about this one. I started out with Paula's Choice years ago, and they just never ever disappoint me. Second, and this is a very close second now to the Paula's Choice, this year I tested out the Supergoop Mineral Sheer Screen. Now, Supergoop does have they do have a matte sunscreen. However, when reading through the reviews, that one seemed to have some shimmer in it, I believe. And most of the people said that that one didn't really work the best on their oily skin. And so the suggestions that actually came up on the reviews for the matte version were to try the sheer screen, the mineral sheer screen. And so I did, and I love this one. This is also a zinc oxide. This is 17.5%. The Paula's Choice is 13% zinc oxide. But this one here is really, really great. Now, it doesn't have a tint, and but I really don't find that this one has a flashback problem for me at all. So you can see it's just that regular white sunscreen there. This one absorbs really nicely into the skin, and it never gets shiny, and it works beautifully with my makeup after application. This one does have a little bit of a scent to it. It's almost like a fresh, like coconut meat type scent. It's not offensive, and it doesn't bother me at all, but there is just a very slight scent to this one. This one just kind of smells like SPF to me. So anyway, love those. Another SPF that I tried this year that I thought was just amazing, and this one you have to shake up. You should really shake up all of your SPF before you use it, but this one especially is a little bit more of a liquid formula, and this is the Dermaceuticals Sunshield Liquid SPF 50. This one comes in different shades. I have the shade light. There is a light, medium, and dark option, so you can find this one at Ulta. Again, I'll link it down below. And I'm just gonna show you guys this one. This is great. It's the perfect tint for me, you guys. It evens my skin out. You can see it right there. It evens my skin out really nicely, but it provides excellent protection. And this one is one of the higher SPFs that I have. I do think for most days for me, an SPF 30 is just fine. But on days where I'm working outside, I am a florist, so a lot of times during the summer, I'm outside working outdoor weddings, and so a higher SPF is a better option for me there. So this is one that is fantastic. This is reef safe. By the way, I think all of these are reef safe. This one is the non-nano zinc oxide. Is this non as well? I should have researched that before coming on, but I can tell you for sure this one is non-nano, and so is this one as well. This one also claims to provide UVA and UVB protection. It reduces photo aging, and this one specifically says that it has a matte finish. So those with dry skin, I have heard a couple of you with dry skin say that you use this and it works fine for you, but I just want to let you know, if you tend to prefer a dewy finish, this is not going to do it. This is going to give you that matte finish, so keep that in mind. Another really affordable, great option that I mentioned last year that I'm going to mention again because it's fantastic is the Derma E Sun Defense Mineral Oil-Free Sunscreen. This one is great. This is actually a brand new one that I'm getting ready to open up for Stella to have in her bathroom. I got another one for myself for this year too. So this one is still one that I love and think is fantastic. This one does have the white, so there's no tint to this at all. I will say this one does leave a little bit, and you'll see it here, it leaves just a little bit of a white cast at first on the skin. So you can see that there. You can see this is just a little bit whiter, but the finish of it is really nice. So I would say if you have a very deep dark skin type, with this one you're definitely going to have to go over with either some powder foundation or just a slightly, maybe a tinted translucent type powder just to take away a little bit of that white cast. It's okay for me because I'm so fair to begin with that for me it doesn't really bug me, and my powder foundation goes perfectly over all of these that I mentioned, and this is no exception. This is another SPF 30. This is also reef safe, and this has a zinc oxide of it has a 20% zinc oxide, so this one's really, really nice. A couple of other just higher SPF options for you here. These last two tied for 5th place this year. I couldn't decide between the two, and I think they're both really great options. The Dermatology Broad Spectrum SPF 45. This is the zinc oxide and octinoxate combination that they have. This one works really, really well for me. This one is clear, or doesn't have a tint. You can see that there. And then I have the Color Science. This is another one that I really like to wear when I'm working outside for weddings. This is the Color Science Sun Forgettable Total Protection Face Shield. This is an SPF 50. Now, this one here has a zinc oxide of 12%. And you do, again, shake them all up, but especially this one here. Now this one does have a tint, and you'll see this here in a second. So you can see that there. So both really great options, wonderful protection, slightly higher SPF. But again, they absorb really nicely. So, and I just mixed them both together, which is silly, but yeah, the Dermatology, not really a white cast from this one for the most part. For me anyway. Again, if you have a deeper, darker skin type, there is a chance that the zinc oxide could be a little bit more obvious on your skin if you don't have like a tinted option that is available. So keep that in mind. And then the last thing that I want to mention for you guys is some extra products. So these are, you don't necessarily need these, but I think they're really nice to have, and they can make touch-ups really nicely. So let's talk about my first touch-up suggestion. And since we were just talking about Color Science, I really do still love these Color Science. They're just little like touch-up brushes that contain the product in here in the bottom. And you basically just get the product out by tapping it. You're not going to be able to see this because this one's translucent. So this is the translucent one here. This is the Total Protection Sheer Matte SPF 30 Sunscreen brush. And this has zinc oxide in it once again, and it is a 22.5% zinc oxide. So this is great for the go. And because this one is translucent, you don't have to worry about matching it at all to you. It just kind of disappears into my skin when I run over it. So, and it's nice because you just pull this little thing back up and you're basically like good to go. You can pop it in your bag. I also like Sunscreen Sprays. Two that I really like. I still really like this Seriously Fab Zinc It Over. This is a mist, And this is again an SPF of 25. This one does have a scent to it. It is available in a fragrance-free option. I have the tropical floral. It's really not that, it's not that highly fragranced, but again, I realize that fragrance and skincare is a huge sticking point for some people, so this one does have a scent. And really my favorite is still this one. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this one, but this is just super convenient for me. I actually had this in my work bag this past Friday when I was at an outdoor wedding venue setting up. It was super, super overcast when I was there setting up, so I ended up not retouching, but this is one that I always carry in my work stuff. It's the Kate Somerville SPF 50 Uncomplicated SPF. This one is really nice, but it is a chemical sunscreen. So this has the avobenzone, the homosalate, the oxybenzone. If you're against chemical sunscreens altogether, this is not going to be an option for you, but this non-nano zinc oxide from Seriously Fab will probably be ideal for you. So there's that. And then if you are looking to specifically protect the area underneath your eyes, I'm still to this day using this, not as often as I used to. It's not an everyday thing, but as the summer rolls around, I'm more apt to pull it out. This is the Color Science Total Eye 3-in-1 Renewal Therapy. I've been using this for several years. I always have a backup of it on hand. You see a lot of YouTubers talking about this one because Color Science did quite a bit of marketing and outreach with YouTubers several years ago. That's how I was initially introduced to this one. Honestly, I don't think that I would have tried it unless they hadn't sent it out first. And I have since then repurchased it myself because I think it's really good. It also is a really nice corrector if you have a lot of darkness underneath your eyes. When I'm feeling a little bit tired and I do have that darkness, this is great because I can pat it on, and not only does it provide the additional SPF, but this has just enough pigment in it for my not super dark circles to cover them up. So this almost acts like a concealer for me because I don't use concealer otherwise. I don't use concealer underneath my eyes. This, however, is a nice thing to be able to use when I need a concealer. But it's really great because it has the titanium dioxide as well as the zinc oxide. So it's a mineral SPF, and it specifically is designed to protect the eye area. So I can put this on my lid, I can put it underneath my eyes, and it just works fantastic. So now that I am covered in SPF, oh my gosh, my hand is just like covered in several layers. Those are my suggestions for you guys this year. Now, I am still not done testing SPF, so you'll still see some individual SPF reviews coming up for me in the next few weeks. I still haven't gotten around to reviewing the new Dr. Dennis Gross SPF, and there's a couple of others that I am eyeing and thinking about ordering and still reviewing for you guys. So there still is more to come from me in terms of suggestions, hopefully. I hope you'll take the time to go check out Melissa's video. I'm certainly anxious to see what recommendations she has for you guys with dry skin. And again, if you're new here from Melissa's channel, I hope you'll take the time to stick around. And yeah, I'd love to have you here. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo!